Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Sagittarius March 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant, and I've had the pleasure of doing a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings with a number of you Sag folks in the course of the last month. And if you might be interested in seeing what's involved in having a one-on-one clairvoyant experience with me from anywhere in the world, just check out the information that's in the description. Now, I charge for clairvoyant readings. I have to. But I have this to announce because I am compelled to by the voice within, and it is this. Look, clairvoyance is a very rare gift. It's very rare. It's a spiritual gift. I was given it. I was also given another spiritual gift, the gift of healing. And certainly in the course of the last 35 years, I have put the gift of healing to work onto people to great effect. And it's for free. I do that for free. It's a spiritual duty, if you like. Now, I have to tell you that I'm now offering that to you or people that you might know to come and approach me by FaceTime or Skype to have a healing session with me, which takes about 15 minutes or less. It's very quick, 15 minutes or less. Now I have to tell you, though, that there are some countries, I think, so I don't know where this video ends up, the laws of some countries state that, and I do state that, you must also seek professional medical advice in conjunction with the healing that you get from me. Now, I'll say this, that it is for free. There's no obligation. You don't have to have a reading with me. You don't have to have had one with me. You don't even have to know me. You don't have to have seen me before. It could be someone who's never even become aware of me, even on YouTube. You might recommend or say to someone, just talk to this guy for 10 or 15 minutes. I don't sell anything, I don't make any recommendation of products or services, and I don't try to talk you into having a clairvoyant reading with me at all. It's completely free, no obligation. The only thing, as I say, that I do need to do is I need to see the person, so it has to be FaceTime or Skype. But anyway, I just make that available to you, and you can make use of it if you want to. Now, did you know I'm going out on a date tonight? It's with an accountant, a beautiful woman who is an accountant. Well, an accountant and the clairvoyant. It will be an interesting conversation, no doubt. But you see, she is a beautiful, well, all women are beautiful, really, aren't they, I think. And, well, beautiful women, you see, are like kryptonite to me. I am powerless in the presence of a beautiful woman, if I really admit to it, although I might pretend I'm not. Now, so I'm going to have a good dinner with a nice view out over the water, some good wine, some good food, good conversation, a few laughs, and we shall see what comes up next. But as the subscribers know, and it's great to see you, you know that we don't have any video advertisements breaking into this content here. So you get to enjoy the experience of this reading uninterrupted. So let's get 5 cards, because that's all we need. There is the World. They speak volumes to us. There is the Wheel of Fortune, I imagine. There is the Hermit. It looks like an Eskimo shaman lady there. The imagery on this is great. There is the Lovers. That's very interesting, this. The Lovers. Now, I'm not trying to make these come out. you know. So, what is there? Actually, I don't even know what a star sign is. And there's the Ace of Wands. Now, why don't you and I do what we normally do? Come, sit down here next to me. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Wow, what a big month for you. Let's major arcana everywhere. Let's have a look at this Lover's card first, shall we? Looks interesting. Now, I'm going to give you my take on the symbology of these cards, but of course, feel free to look at them and come up with your own meanings as to the artwork here. But I think that primarily the symbolism of this painting is that of masculine and feminine, red and white, mundane and divine. Now, although here a male figure is used to represent typically masculine traits and a female figure typically feminine traits, this too is only a symbol. It does not reflect a notion of gender roles, I don't think. Rather, this is saying we are all both the male and the female figure. A lot of choices for you to make during this period, I think, here. There may be a choice which is of a major life direction of a major life thing ahead of you, but you may not work that out until about 12 months later, I don't think. I notice here, though, that the number is 6, of course. Well, with 6, I have a great connection with Christ consciousness, with Krishna consciousness, with Vishnu consciousness. And I think that and also with balance. Again, choices coming through here, unsurprisingly. Harmony, completion, integration, and transformation. I think one of the big lessons here for you is to love and honor yourself first before you can truly open and love another authentically. Now, from this place, you mirror only genuine love, attracting equal light of another that will bring expansion to your heart and emotional fulfillment. Now, within a relationship, you should, I don't need to tell you, never feel limited, restricted, or restrained. And if you do, get out of it. Nor should you do that to another person, and obviously I don't need to tell you that. But when two hearts share the same love, peace, and understanding, the relationship is stronger than any adversity. Now, everyone has experienced the feeling of love on some level, the feeling of walking on air, the initial infatuation. Everything around you seems brighter, more alive, more connected, and passion is high. Well, the lovers here symbolize this feeling, but it goes much deeper. It represents a committed relationship. The lovers represents a strong partnership that is genuine and harmonious, bringing trust and spiritual strength, surrendering their hearts to each other without fear. Now, their relationship expands and stretches the physical and spiritual self to connect at deep and unexpected places of the heart and soul. The lovers have a kindred understanding of the gifts of true love and what sensuality can bring. The lovers encompass human love, spiritual love, and sexual love that is transformative. I think this energy reminds you to value the sensual and sexual love and how it wakens the powerful life force of the Kundalini and creativity within you. And if you don't have anyone to do that with at this time, then this may be in your fantasy life, and that's perfectly okay, because you understand that you, earth and spirit, are constantly renewing and regenerating, forever evolving and creating new growth. Now, I think this energy symbolizes a committed, strong, romantic relationship that keeps growing and spiritually expanding towards a deeper understanding of your inner self and also of your partner and your relationships in the outside world. It awakens your free will to make choices in life that support your heart's evolution on your spiritual path. Now, I think this energy is asking you, are the choices you make in relationships coming from a balanced, integrated place? If not, identify the opposing aspects within yourself and how they affect your external life. You see, internal struggles between your dualities can create negativity that projects outwardly, you see. And addressing your inner conflict, balancing the dualities, trusting and loving yourself, will heal the struggles from the past at this time. Now, there's major arcana everywhere, What's this one? Let's have a look here, shall we? See what this has got to say to you. And let's have I've got have a great affinity with this energy for some reason. Now here, it seems that beneath the heavenly light show of the northern lights, surrounded by the stark beauty of the Arctic, an Inuit shaman drums to call forth the spirits of the land and helping spirits. She has undergone a great many terrible trials, including her own death, to gain the wisdom that she uses to serve her community. Now, although she remains other, she is intimately linked to her community and serves it with all of her powers and spiritual wisdom. Now, in the darkest of times, she is the last resort, shining a light to bring her people back from the darkness. Now, the hermit, as suggested by her name, may withdraw herself from a society or a community in order to, in the ensuing silence, find a greater understanding of the other, whether that is the spirit world, the soul, nature, or the inner processes of spiritual transformation. However, it is vitally important for the hermit to return to her people, bringing them the gift of her wisdom and spiritual power. And I'm sure that you will, with my description of that, understand what is going to be happening with you during this period. Now, there are times when a restlessness or inner calling motivates you to withdraw from the outer world, seeking private time just to look inside yourself. Or it may be a desire to take a journey to explore the deeper meaning in your life. And sometimes your destiny puts you in a place where you are forced to find a deeper understanding of what true inner happiness means to you. Well, this energy is bringing a time when you are searching for answers. The hermit is the one who steps out of the darkness, really, as she's doing here. Now, her number is 9, and 9 is the number of completion, of breakthrough, and initiation. The lessons, I think, that she offers you on your quest are the light of love, the appreciation of simplicity, self-respect, and freedom from the material world. Now, I'm not saying don't enjoy the material world, but don't be trapped by the material world. Be free of it. Now, clearly, here is a woman that is teaching spiritual wisdom from the heart. Now, because our paths and journeys may seem very different, our destination to the heart is always the same. The journey must be taken alone to truly understand self-love and living it. Now, the outside world is a great teacher, stretching your consciousness and bringing you to the feet of this hermit, who then shines her light onto you. At the end of all journeys, you must always return to yourself, of course, but you, more than anybody, understands that, for truly, that is where your answers lie. I think what we can see here is, I think she's asking, what is this restlessness calling you to? She guides you through prayer, nature, looking inside, and solitude. And through these practices and situations, you can open your heart and get in touch with your soul self and purpose. Now, do you know, tending to your spiritual garden is vitally important, and it can transform your life to a higher spiritual understanding of yourself. You are a spirit in a suit of flesh. And I guess when you understand this, then it quiets the restlessness inside. And her call reminds you that life is always cyclic, and there will be times when the light seems dimmer and when it shines brighter. But she reminds you that in the time of need, focus on the inner light, even if it appears far away. Its brightness will grow, filling you with love and grace. And this energy brings a time for review and looking to develop your inner wisdom by taking time out to just be still and listen to what comes. Now, very often this can refer to a pilgrimage, but I don't think that that's the case with you at this time. But this energy here, it definitely is saying, it says, the spirit does not have a problem with material things, but this is a time to enjoy and appreciate the simple joys in life. Now, I saw Jupiter around somewhere. Where's Jupiter? Here's Jupiter, and your ruling planet, of course. And what is this? It's the Wheel of Fortune. And who might this be? Well, you know who I think it is? I think this is Demeter, the mother of Persephone. Do you remember the myth of Persephone, who was taken into the underworld by Hades, and she would only be allowed to come up for a few months of the year, and Demeter was the goddess who looked after all of nature. And when her daughter was downstairs, everything went barren and snow and everything like that. And then when the daughter came up above ground again, that's when life came back. Well, I think that this is Demeter in her aspect as earth goddess, surrounded by flowers and wheat. Now, the wheat was sacred to her and representative of the two gifts that she gave to humankind. It also reminds you of the cyclical nature of the earth and therefore the universe. See, this cyclic teaching is coming through to you very understand, so you don't get concerned, but understand that things always work in cycles, that there is a time for everything to be born and for it to die, a time to sow seeds and a time to reap the harvest. Understanding the cycles of your own life allows you to more fully engage with it and accept the changes that are ever present. Now, the poppy that features among the brightly coloured flowers was worn by her priestesses and was also a symbol of death to the ancient Greeks. Now, the poppy was often planted or just grew naturally among wheat fields in the old days, a couple of thousand years ago. Maybe it does today as well, and is therefore symbolic of the life-death life cycle. But with the presence of your Jupiter in this card, this is a time of a great turning point for you, where if you've been having a barren past, things are going to move forward. And frankly, if miracles are not occurring in your life, something is going wrong. But nevertheless, on this theme of cycles, which seems to be with you this month, she represents the ever-changing cycle in your life. You know, your life is in constant motion, isn't it? And it revolves around the ups and downs that life hands you. No moment ever stays the same, does it? Just as you are getting comfortable, the wheel turns and you are moving towards another situation. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. So be it. You get through everything. Now, at times, you may think that the wheel is stuck because the bad luck aggravation has been visiting around for too long. But you have to remember that the Wheel of Fortune is also the karmic wheel of fate. So on many multi-levels of lifetimes, you may be paying a bigger bill this time around than another. And eventually, though, the wheel does shift. And sometimes you just don't recognize it because you are so wound up in what you think should happen. The Wheel of Fortune really is the game of life. There are no guarantees. How you play out your fate is up to you. Now, the lessons that you learn from your experiences, even from your mistakes or your failures or misfortunes, and your victories in life, of course, well, they are all gifts that you take on your spiritual journey. The Wheel of Fortune's number here is 10, and that's the number of completion and rebirth into a new cycle, and it symbolizes the doorway to a new journey for you. It's always good to know where you are on the Wheel of Fortune. Are you at the bottom going up, or are you at the top ready to cycle on to yet another journey of transition? And what you want to remember is that your present actions will affect your life and that of others now and into the future. And the Wheel of Fortune spins those actions around and around, creating your fate. And you never know when a good or not so good deed will come back around the corner to greet you. This represents cause and effect. You know, one of the lessons, I think, of this energy is to be able to stay in the center, in the hub of the wheel, no matter what confronts you. If you stay centered, you are able to act from a place of balance rather than from a place of reactionary emotions. And when you are centered, or in your hub, you are aware of your strength and weaknesses, your limits and your boundaries, doing the best that you can with what you got. But what you do is you concentrate on your strengths. You play to your strengths. You do what you're good at and minimize what you're not good at. Try and get rid of them. Now, you may not be in control of circumstances, but you can be in control of how you deal with them. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is the ever-turning cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Its number 10, as I say, is representing the end of something or the completion of something here. It's also the beginning of something new for you. And it definitely is speaking to me for you of unexpected encounters and twists of fate. The Wheel of Fortune brings gifts of movement, change, good fortune, success, karma, and coming into your destiny. Then where shall we go? We did Hermit here. Let's have a look at this. Well, here's one of those times when I say you should take from the painting what you will. Because what I see from this is something pretty esoteric, and which I won't go into the detail of, but I'll mention it. I think this is a representation of Sophia, wisdom, who featured in Christian Gnostic texts as part of the strand of Gnosticism within early Christianity. That was stamped out by the Roman emperors in the 400s and 500s. And anyone who adhered to it was put to death. You know, that's how you deal with, that's a good way to deal with people's religious views and how they approach God, is that if they don't accept your point of view about God, then kill them. Well, that's just wrong, but it still goes on, doesn't it? And I think what this refers to is, in a nutshell, what happened was that she didn't do something which the other demigods agreed with, and she was banished. And then she sought redemption and readmittance to the council, if you like, of the demigods. But there was no mention of the supreme being in this. That's what it seems to me. But the world itself, though, and here it is. Look, you are always on Actually, I'll leave it like that because that's sort of a nice, it's a good image to focus on that. It's pretty good art. And what was I saying? I just lost my train of thought. What do I see here? Look, you're always on a journey. Some are small and some are very profound, but you always arrive at a completion with lessons learned. Now, some things change and some remain the same. Now, hopefully you will come out with a deeper understanding about yourself, others, and the world. Now, with this card of the world, you will become closer to yourself and maybe even to the community around you. You recognize, of course, that you are a world citizen. Now, I think that the lesson of the world here, energy, is to bring your physical or material life into balance with your spiritual truth by learning to control and harness energies, desires, reactions or moods that don't support you. Now, separateness leads to stagnant energy and unfulfillment. You are in charge of creating happiness in your life. When you integrate your experiences and lessons into your life, your personal vision expands on the horizon of new realizations by seeing, embracing, and exercising your full potential at this time. You add to the world and to the universe in a way that nobody else can. There's only one you. Recognize the inner spirit that supports you. I think that this is saying to be an initiator, not an imitator. Be original. Step out. Cut through personal limitations and fears and be committed to growth and evolution. Now, the world in each of us and the world around us are one. Our commitment to our personal evolution reflects our feelings and attitudes towards the greater whole and where we are on the path to the source, our ultimate goal. Now, the world brings you the gifts of fulfillment, achievement, integration and wholeness at this time, as well as healing, feeling engaged in life, wanting to be of service in some way, and also feeling grateful and embracing the beauty of life. Now, the world, I'm pleased to say, brings opportunity for travel. It brings an appetite for independence and freedom, something that you have worked very hard on is being completed, and it's bringing new horizons, new ideas, and new beginnings. And I think that this brings a sense of achieving another milestone in your destiny. And that brings us finally to this, which is the Ace of Wands. Now, Leo is going to be important to you. So is Virgo, and so is Cancer, I would suggest at this time. Look, this is an ancient Egyptian thing, I'm guessing, because of this thing here. And there were in Egypt, historically, several creation myths. Most of them agree that in the beginning, like they did over in Babylon and Sumer, what is today Iran and Iraq, that there was a chaotic, dark water from which the world began when the sun rose for the first time over this ocean. And this was called the first occasion. And out of the darkness rose light. The sun and the force that caused it to rise would remain important symbols throughout the ancient Egyptian world for millennia. Now, the Ace of Wands here is the force of vital spark, the generative power that kickstarts all the processes of creation here for you. Elementally, the Ace of Wands is associated with fire. Therefore, it is the highest, but also the most abstract of the elements. It is closest to spirit, yet the most fundamental force for us all. Now, on an abstract level, the Ace of Wands is the energetic forces in our life, power, a sense of self, personality, and ego. And on a more ordinary level, it is all the forces that we engage with that allow you to move forward and create. That is your drive. And these are going to be highlighted for you this month. Drive, desire, ambition, will, power, inspiration, yearning, and passion. If all obstacles are out of the way, renewal in all areas and at all levels of your life will take place. This revitalizing power fills your entire being with new light. Now it is important for the free-flowing energies to have a creative outlet. You can use the energy only if you have a goal towards which you can direct it. The next step after releasing the blocks is to find the right framework in which to set the energy to work. You are full of power and energy. Engage fully in discovering where and how you can and want to use it. This is your time. Great set of cards for you. Well done, you. Well, I think I really enjoyed doing that reading for you. Honestly, I did. I thought the artwork was pretty interesting, didn't you? I thought so. This deck, for some reason, really seems to speak to me. And I hope that you enjoyed the reading as much as I enjoyed providing it to you. You're a very special person and I love doing readings for you. Now, there's one thing I want you to remember until I see you next time, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. So until then, it's bye for now.